55 years ago, a seasoned statesman, successful military man, and respected commander-in-chief prepared to hand the reins to his young, smooth-talking successor. 8 years earlier, Dwight D. Eisenhower had taken the oath of office for the first time, and like our current president, had no political experience. After 2 successful terms, he wanted to prepare John F. Kennedy as much as possible for the profound duty before him. The days leading up to that transition of power inspired Bret Baier's new book, 3 Days in January, Dwight Eisenhower's Final Mission. What is so significant about these 3 days in January?
Well, these 3 days are the final days of Eisenhower's presidency, and he has been building up his whole career to this moment, to give this final message, not only to his successor, President Kennedy, but also a roadmap to America. And he spends 2 years working on this final address, 21 drafts.
As the general who led the Allies to victory during the Second World War, Ike felt his parting words were paramount.
He is a man of war, as a general, who wanted peace more than anything else.
A strong but private Christian, Eisenhower was baptized shortly after his first inauguration at National Presbyterian Church in Washington. He wanted to keep it quiet, so much so that when his pastor prepared a handout to the press, Ike threatened to change churches. Despite his private nature, faith was evident in his leadership.
He inserts prayer into a lot of speeches. In fact, his first inaugural, he leads with a prayer. He is torn the day before the inauguration, January 19th, 1953, and he's not sure how he's going to get people to sign on at the beginning, and he's in church with Mamie, and suddenly it comes to him that he's going to pray, and he's going to begin his inaugural address with a prayer.
Almighty God, as we stand here at this moment, my future associates in the executive branch of government join me in beseeching that thou wilt make full and complete our dedication to the service of the people in this throng.
To begin an inauguration speech and have everybody bow their heads is pretty unique. And that shows you how much he valued that. He is the president that put "under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance. He made "In God We Trust" our national motto and had it printed on our currency. The first national prayer breakfast happens under President Eisenhower.
As president, Eisenhower instituted an environment of debate, along with checks and balances that informed his decision-making, a system Kennedy viewed as unnecessary bureaucracy. So early on, Kennedy relied on just a few advisors and himself. Then several months into his presidency came Cuba and the failed Bay of Pigs situation. His first call went to Eisenhower, who flew to Camp David to offer advice. It's the setting of this iconic photo.
And both the Kennedy Library and the Eisenhower Library quote them as saying, Kennedy to Eisenhower, you know, you really don't know how tough this job is until you're in it. And Eisenhower turns to Kennedy and says, with all due respect, Mr. President, I think I told you this 3 months ago.
The era of Eisenhower brought peace and stability to America. Baier spent more than 3 years researching his book and hopes readers will use it as a guide.
The dedication to the book is to my sons, and I put it here on the beginning. By the way, my sons signed this one. They were practicing to sign this one. To our sons, Paul and Daniel, and their generation, please allow history to inform your decisions in the future.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.